Have you ever had a flash of inspiration? An idea came to you, or this kind of like this feeling like, yes, this is the direction I should go in, or I want to go in, and it feels expansive and it feels good. And then, maybe a split second later, or an hour later, or a day later, or once you actually start on the path towards that thing, boom, self-doubt hits. And we start to question our intuition. We start to question our own source-given internal guidance system. And this is understandable because we haven't been brought up learning how to trust this. And yet, when you do trust your intuition, amazing things can happen, right? It can lead you towards your dreams. Your intuition is your dreams, they come from the same place. So that's why I'm so thrilled with today's guest, because we're going to be talking all things intuition and specifically 5 ways that you can start learning to trust your own intuition.
Hi, my name's June Morrow, and I help emerging coaches and transformational consultants step out of isolation and into more authentic connections with messaging that inspires them and their ideal audiences. And if this is you and you're struggling with finding clients, I encourage you to download my free training below, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You.
So I am super thrilled today to have Rachel Benton with us. Now, Rachel is a licensed life and embodiment coach and an energy practitioner, and she is super passionate about helping women heal so that they can fully embody their truth, reconnect with their intuition, which is what we're going to be talking about today, and really come from a place of leading with their own inner power, right? So, Rachel, welcome. So great to have you here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you, June.
So tell me a little bit about your own personal journey with intuition, because I know we're probably born with intuition and then we lose it, right? At some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We all have intuition. Let me just lead with that. We all have it. Most of us, it's just buried and we suffocate it. And so my own journey with it is I've always been an intuitive person. I've always known that. But every time it would come in and I didn't like what it said, I'd be like, no, we don't need you right now.
Yeah.
And I'd shush it. And I'd be like, no, I want to do this. Even if I had this little voice that was saying, it's so wrong for you, Rach, you shouldn't do that. I'd be like, no, shh, I want to do this. And so I'd shush it and I'd move on. And then 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years later, I'd wake up to know that I knew all along that this person, this thing, this job wasn't right for me. And I did that my entire life. It's only in the last couple of years that I've opened my heart out and I'm like, I want to learn more. Teach me. How do I grow? How do I strengthen this intuition? Because I'm learning more and more and more that our intuition is our guidance system. And instead of listening to that, we tend to doubt it. We tend to shush it because we were never taught. This isn't a subject that we were taught in school. Absolutely not. We learned how to use our logic mind instead of using our heart and our guidance system, our soul within us. And what's really, truly amazing to me is our intuition is connected to our soul. Okay. And our soul connected to the universal knowledge. And so when we can get out of our logic mind, our thinking mind, because that's where we go, we want to think our way through our problems, think our way forward. But instead of using our logic mind and we tap into our hearts, we have access to wisdom that we can't even imagine that we have. And you and I were just talking about this knowing feeling. Right? We have this knowing feeling. I know I'm meant to be here right now. I know I'm meant to be in this job. I know I'm meant to open this business, right? It's this knowing feeling within us that we don't quite understand because we don't talk about it. It's not talked about it. So we don't really know how to listen to it. And so it's easier to go with our logic mind because it makes sense. And so intuition, you have to throw that out the window. Right? Step outside the box and you really have to trust, have faith, surrender. We're all going to talk about this today.
Yeah.
But you really have to step outside the box and start trusting in you, believing in you. And that's huge here.
And that's one of the hardest things to do because the paradigm in our society over the past, since the age of enlightenment has been trust this,
Yes.
trust evidence, like right now, evidence, trust what is material, trust what you see, right? Trust science. And certainly, yeah, there's certain things, we do want to trust those things, but there's more ways of knowing. And that is the hardest thing, I think, is to do that because it's, as you said, we haven't been taught. It hasn't been in Western culture. It hasn't been something that people have been taught to listen to or to, this inner knowing.
Absolutely. And what's great about now is that the science is starting to back it up. You
Mm,
get to start looking, and you can find science behind intuition. What's really good about intuition, and you were talking about evidence, right? It's so easy when you're thinking with your logic mind. There's evidence, there's like matter, like there's actual something that you can look at. What's really cool about intuition, when you start playing with it, it starts validating you. It starts
mm,
confirming, and it confirms with matter, right?
yeah.
And so just to give you an example, for anybody who are numbers people and they see the 1111 on the clock, or the 222, or the
Oh
333, or
yeah.
any
I'm in a total
combination of
111
numbers,
period right now. Yeah.
exactly, that's a clear sign that your intuition is at play here. And it's a validation of thoughts that you're having. So when you catch yourself seeing these numbers, stop and just, what am I thinking about right now? What am I doing? Is my intuition trying to grab my attention to get me out of my head? Or is it validating what I'm doing?
Hmm.
Right. And so if you're asking for guidance, that's a great way when you start seeing numbers or any sign. And this is something that I do with my clients: ask for a sign. Don't ever
Yes.
hesitate to ask for a sign. And I'm going to give you an example. It's pretty cool. My sign is a dragonfly. I am a big dragonfly. They mean a lot to me. When my husband and I went and picked our puppy, I asked the universe, I'm like, show me a sign that we're picking the right dog for us, that will be the right temperament and energy level and whatnot. Show me a dragonfly. We're at the breeders, and there's all these little bundles of joy here trying to pick a beautiful dog. And as soon as I picked her up and I said, oh, you're going to be our Maddie. You are Maddie. You are our dog. As soon as I did this, a beautiful dragonfly came flying by, and complete confirmation. Like, I didn't doubt it after that. It was complete confirmation. And so that's how intuition, it plays with you. It confirms, it validates what you're doing if you ask for it.
Right. And sometimes it can just confirm with the sign, like with big signs, right? Like, so we were talking before we started recording about my move to PEI and how I just, like, people ask, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I just felt like this is where I needed to be. And now I know this is where I need to be. But I also received like confirmation in the form of, a car dropped in my lap, an opportunity to live rent free as I left Toronto dropped in my lap, even just the coaching practice, like this opportunity to get a buyout from my previous employer dropped in my lap. So sometimes it's just noticing, like, the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
has your back. And yeah, and it's going to give you those little prompts or big prompts
Mhm. And
sometimes.
it's always working for you, right? The
Hmm.
universe, God, source, it's always working for you. You just have to open up your eyes, open yourself up to the possibilities and the
Hmm.
opportunities that drop in your lap. Yeah. And intuition is all linked to that, because intuition is basically the sensations that you feel in your body, because your body's
Hmm.
always talking to you. And so if you can get out of your head and drop into your body, you can start listening. And we don't
Hmm.
know how to do that. A lot of
No.
people don't know that, how to do that. And can I take you guys through a
Yeah.
little exercise? Absolutely. So June, close your eyes. Everybody listening,
Okay.
close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just relax your body. And just keep breathing. And all I want you to do is to bring your awareness. So bring your awareness into your head. And I want you to drop it down into your heart. Okay, you just dropped into your body right now, into your heart, and just keep your awareness in your heart center and just breathe. And now I want you to bring to the forefront of your mind right now a situation that causes you stress. And just notice how your body reacts as you're thinking about this situation. Just notice the sensations in your stomach, in your heart, maybe your shoulders. Now I want you to shake it off. And now I want you to bring to the forefront of your mind a situation that causes you so much joy. Something that brings you joy and makes you smile. And now notice how your body reacts to that. Just notice it in your chest, in your stomach. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just open your eyes. What was the difference for you?
So for me, the stressful situation, I wanted to close like my shoulders and like my, my gut. It's just like, ugh, right.
Yeah.
And then the situation that gives me joy really makes me open, right?
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
heart is open.
And so that's your soul yes and your soul no. Okay. So when you have a decision to take, when you meet someone, when somebody asks you to do something,
yeah,
just take a moment to breathe and tap into your heart and feel how your body's reacting, because it'll contract if it's a big no. You'll feel the expansiveness if it's a big yes. And just a minute, not even, take a second to do that, and your body is going to expand or contract to let you know what is right for you.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to actually say no, which is
that's another issue. Yeah.
It's a whole other interview. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. A whole other conversation.
That is so cool. That is such a great way to kind of guide your life,
Yes. Yes. And it's when you can, it's when you can get out of here, get into your body, that you'll be able to hear all these little whispers and these nudges and how your body reacts. And our intuition is unique to us. Mm-hmm. Okay, your intuition won't speak to you like it would to me, my intuitions. Mm-hmm. So everybody's a bit unique because we're all different people. And your intuition will always speak to you in a way that you understand. Always. And so it's just to learn. It's to take the time to learn how it's speaking to you, how your body's reacting, and the different sensations that are coming through.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So that is great. So that's one thing you can put into practice right away. What are some other ways? So we were going to talk about like 5 ways to start trusting your intuition. So that.
Absolutely. So the first one is to stop and breathe, just like we were doing that, to take, I know, right? To just take a little moment to breathe, because your intuition will always come through in those quiet, the stillness between the thoughts, between the chaos, between the to-do list, right? Well, for me anyways, I was so into my head and always busy all the time, always going. But if you take 30 seconds to take a nice deep breath in, quiet your mind, this is when you can hear it, right? We were able to see how our body spoke to us in just a few seconds. And so just stop, breathe, tap in, and listen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. A second thing that you guys can do is to start connecting. Okay. Connect with nature, connect with high vibing people in your life. When I say high vibing, you want people to bring up your frequency, not bring it down. And so connect with high vibing people in your life. Connect with you, because your intuition will grow when you're connected with other living things. Okay. We're part of an energetic world. And so the higher the frequency, the easier it is for you to listen and to hear your intuition. Your guidance will start increasing instead of decreasing. And so think about when you're in a situation where you're in fear, when you're in doubting, if you're comparing yourself or whatever, you're in a low frequency. They're low vibing frequencies. And so you're stuck. You're stuck in your head and you're running around in your head. You're not feeling.
Yeah.
Right? But if you can get yourself out of that and start connecting to, like I said, nature, to yourself, to high vibing people, it'll bring you up so that you can start listening and hearing what your intuition is saying.
Right. So you got to get around those higher frequencies.
That's right. And to give you an example, if you're a music person, put on the music. If you
Yeah.
like to dance, move your body, dance, do a flow, really listen to your body, right? Go do some physical exercise, do some yoga, get out for a walk, but really start just moving your body, get yourself out of the energy of the negative and bring yourself into a state of excitement and wanting to be here. Mhm.
Hmm. So back in, and even back into the present. I know for me, like I'm such a music person, so I'm glad you said
Mm.
that, because music really does change my mood. And I find like those times when I'm in that negative and I'm stuck in that like lower vibe, I often have to be like, when was the last time I listened to music? You know,
Mm.
and I have to stop myself. Or when was the last time I picked up my guitar? Because even just strumming my guitar, that can make a difference, you know?
Yes. Well, just the vibration of the music will
Yeah.
change your vibration of your body.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. So, a third thing is I want you guys to think of love. Intuition is always going to come through in a loving way.
Hmm.
So, like I was saying, if you find yourself doubting, analyzing, judging, criticizing, not your
Panicking.
intuition.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you have a random thought that comes through, right? Those ideas that just come out of the blue,
Yeah.
if they feel good,
Yeah.
if they make you smile and you're like, oh, yeah, that's your intuition.
Yes.
Okay. So you want to be able to write those things down because intuition will come in and then the doubt will come in.
Yes.
Okay. And then the doubt will take over your intuition. And then it makes you think that you can't do these things. If it popped into your mind, if you thought of it, you are meant to do this in some way, shape, or form. We
Right.
just talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I find my problem is I have, and I think a lot of people will relate to this. I have a lot of ideas that pop into my head,
Yes.
like more than can be done in,
Okay.
one
Yeah.
lifetime. I'm going to be honest.
Absolutely. Know that every idea that comes in doesn't have to be done today. That's
Right.
why I say write them down. Because
Yeah.
5 years from now, you might be looking through these ideas and you're like, it's time for this one. It's time
Yeah.
for that one. And so write them down. And sometimes some of them will link together. Like you said, you might have too many for this
Yeah.
lifetime, but some of them might link together and you might be able to work a couple of them together.
Yeah.
But always write them down.
Okay. And some of them aren't for you. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you're the conduit who gives that idea to somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's huge. That's a whole other conversation as well.
Yeah.
But that's huge here. And that's why you write them down, because if you're talking to someone and it pops into your head to tell them about it, that was theirs.
Right. Right.
Okay. Always follow
Yeah.
those prompts. Don't doubt them. Just follow. And I
Yeah.
think that's our biggest challenge. It's the doubt. It's the doubt that comes
It
in.
is.
Mhm. And it talks you out of. It talks you out of
Right.
the greatness.
So if it's talking you out of something, so can we just pause and talk about this for a moment?
Absolutely.
Because intuition will say to you, no, that's not for you, which is different than self-doubt,
Yes.
right? And it's, how do you tell the difference between the two of them?
Okay. Self-doubt is going to be something that's going to be like, it's like if you're stuck in a cycle in your
Yeah.
mind and it goes fast. It's one thought after the other. I'm not meant
Yeah.
to do this. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. And it's
Yeah.
like the hamster on the wheel. Okay.
Yeah.
When your intuition is talking to you, your intuition always comes through as calm.
Ah,
Calm, loving. It could be a voice, it could be a feeling, it can come through a song,
yeah.
right? It's calm, always calm.
Right. So
Okay.
it's, yeah. Yeah. I get that. Cause it's like, should you contact your ex? The calm part says no. The needy, desperate part is like,
And
yeah.
exactly. And the needy, desperate part, it's like if it's working really fast
Yeah.
and it's coming through, oh yeah, we could do this, I could say this, I could do this. But if you actually take a breath,
Yeah.
listen to the calm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Make
Calm.
sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth thing is to trust. Okay. This is one of the biggest challenge that we have is to trust that your knowing is guiding you. And
Yes.
we've all had this knowing feeling. You and I talked about your move, but we
Yeah.
all have had this knowing feeling where we just know something. We don't know how we know. We just know we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's trust. If you can trust that knowing feeling, that when that idea comes in, that that thought, even just a guidance, a sign, trust the signs,
Yes.
right? It's usually coming from deep within, so it'll show up as calm, and it might feel like imagination at first. And let's talk about this for a minute. Imagination and wishful thinking. When I started playing with my intuition, I always said, "But I'm imagining it. I'm
Mm.
wishful. This is wishful thinking. This is wishful
Yeah.
thinking." And so I brought this to my mentor, and I was like, "Okay, let's talk about this. Like, why? Like, what's the difference?" She's like, "There is no difference, Rach." She goes, "Wouldn't you rather imagine and wishful think your way through than doubting it?" And I was like, "Huh, okay, that makes sense. I would
Mm.
rather be in this positive state, thinking maybe I'm imagining it, but as I'm imagining it, I'm visualizing it. While I'm visualizing it, my intuition is either validating it, or it's pulling me back saying, let's just nudge here. But don't ever go against your imagination or your wishful thinking. It's all part of intuition. It's just usually
Right.
the beginning phase before you get to know truly how your intuition speaks. Okay.
Hmm. So that's like if you have a vision for your life,
Yes.
right? Or a vision for your purpose, or what you see yourself doing. Because I've had the same vision for my life for years, right?
Okay.
And it always comes back to it. And I'm always like, okay, trust that, trust that, trust that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Trust it. And the more you can surrender, and I always say, humor your intuition, humor your imagination. The more you can do that, the more your intuition will grow, because you just let go. And we're going to get to surrender. The next one is surrender, but you get to let go. You get to breathe into it. But isn't life much more exciting knowing that these imaginations are being put in front of you, and that you get to use your intuition to move forward? Let guide me to my next step. What's my aligned next step towards this beautiful imagination? And just surrender and start watching what comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And which brings me to number 5, surrender. Okay, this is huge. To completely give in to your guidance. We have such a hard time. And if anybody's like me, I like to hang on and control.
Oh,
I like to control.
yeah. Yeah.
And so I always tell my clients, make a game out of it. Okay, let's not make this work. Let's make it a game. So if you're getting a nudge, you want to follow it. If you get a thought, if you get a thought, an idea, a nudge, a whisper, anything, a sensation, and it feels good, I want you guys to follow it. Have fun with this. Let go of the control and just see where it can take you, because it's pretty amazing the magic that comes through when you let go and you're like, I'm just going to follow what life is guiding me to do today. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of us always trying to figure it out. And I think this is one of the biggest things is we try to control the outcome.
Yeah.
We try to control how it's going to look. And a lot of the times it doesn't look at all what you thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could just surrender, take a step back, and honor the sensations that are coming through, listen and trust what's coming through, you're going to get to your goal so much faster than if you try to control it every inch of the way, and it'll be less painful.
Amazing. And that is so difficult to do because we are trained in the exact opposite. We are trained to control every variable and set everything up for success and do what all the experts say and, push, 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 as opposed to I'm just going to go with what's coming today.
Yeah. And when I say surrender, I want to be clear that you don't just sit back and you wait for things to happen to you. Okay, let's be clear. That's not what surrendering means. Surrender just means that you let go of the control, but you action every idea, every nudge. You take action from this instead of you saying, okay, this is my goal. This is how I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Right? You don't take your eye off the prize at the end, but you want to work with the universe, not against it.
Right. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's going to have better ideas for you than you have for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that helpful?
Yeah. That is super helpful. I mean, it's so interesting and you can go so deep with this
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like a muscle, right? It's like anything. You have to continue to practice it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with trust again, because I'm a big control freak and I like to
Hmm.
hang on to things just because of past wounds that,
Yeah.
that are still there.
Yeah.
And so I like to hang on. And so for me to be like, okay, I'm not planning. I'm just going to see what comes into my path, the possibilities, the opportunities, and the ideas for me to market, for me to move forward with things. And that's been a huge learning curve for me because, like, I'm a big control freak. Like, I
Yeah.
am the one that holds the remote when we watch TV, like, a control. And I know
Yeah.
it, I'm very aware of it. But something, again, it's a muscle. It's something
Yeah.
that you want to work on every single day. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I did this week when I did my list building diaries, I really talked about this, about trust and about
Okay.
knowing and about that 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 fight that you have as you're building a business in your mind internally with parts of you that are like, show me the money, right? And you're not seeing the money right away. And so it's like, well, I know that if I keep doing this, like I know in my heart, if I keep doing this, if I keep taking the steps,
Mhm.
we'll get there, right?
Yes.
But it's trusting the journey, it's having faith in it. And I think faith and trust and learning to listen to your intuition, these are foundational things for entrepreneurs,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And you don't realize that until you're in it.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't go into entrepreneurship thinking about these things. You are faced with them.
you're
So,
faced with
yeah.
them. Yeah, because all your stuff comes up and you're like, how do I deal with this?
Mhm,
And then you
mhm.
have
And
to
I
look
always
at,
say, yeah.
yeah,
And I always say too that, like you said, you know where you're going. And it might take you a little longer than you'd like. Show me the money. It might take a little
yeah,
longer than you'd like. But if you
yeah,
kept at it, consistent actions will get you there no matter
yeah.
what, especially if you're listening to your inner
And
guidance
trusting that. Yes.
and
Yeah.
trusting that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah,
Yeah.
so what I
Something
always
says,
say is that
do
when you
this.
start doubting, when you start letting the fear, you're suffocating
Yeah.
your intuition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. And I've done both.
Oh, me too.
And
Absolutely.
I think definitely trusting the intuition has been more fruitful in the end, you
Yeah,
know,
it
because
has.
when we give into our fear, we take detours that take us away from ourselves.
Yeah, but I always say too, those detours were learning lessons that you needed to
Yeah.
learn, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because they bring us back stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's little things that we pick up over there that we can bring back on the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool, Rachel. I loved this talk. So how can people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So you can go onto my website, rachelbentoncoaching.com. There you can, there's a self-awareness assessment if anybody wants to see what's holding them back in their lives, the fears, the doubts that they might have, and some tips and tricks to help you overcome that. So rachelbentoncoaching.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Rachel Benton Life Coach. That is where I like to hang out. And so message me, let me know what you thought and how intuition speaks to you.
If you found this video valuable, hit that subscribe button, hit like so more people on YouTube can see this video and find this incredible resource that Rachel is. And if your intuition is telling you that social media is draining you, don't forget to download my free masterclass, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You. You got this.